Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to install a CIS system inside a Epson XP-960. So we have the CIS here, have the cartridges and the CIS down here. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that this ink tank is going to be at the same base level as the printer. I just put it down there so that when I remove these pads here, it doesn't leak as much. So once you turn on the printer with no cartridges installed, it's going to tell you to replace them. So you can see that message there. I'm just going to want you to proceed. It's going to initialize it for replacement. So the best way to remove these little pedestals off each cartridge is to remove them, and if they're wet, just use a napkin and just dab them with a napkin, so when you put them in the printer, they're dry and they don't leak all over the place. So press it to initialize. Alright, just going to go ahead and proceed. It's going to want you to replace the cartridges there. This is where you're going to go ahead and install the CIS into this printer. So let me go ahead and take out these cartridges and you can kind of see how I do this. Okay, so each one you're going to want to grab them. You're going to want to make sure that the tanks here don't leak into the cartridges. So always have some napkins handy. So we've got some gloves on as well. So see, I'm going to take this off, and you're going to see that it's already wet on this pad here. So I'm going to do it for each individual cartridge. Just make sure you remove each of them. You don't want to cross-contaminate any of the colors here. So it's magenta. You got the light cyan here, I believe. That's just the cyan. Got the yellow. And lastly, the magenta. So since I placed the ink tanks lower than the printer, you can already see that I left them down there for a few hours and they're already dry. They're not as moist as they are if you were to just immediately put them in the printer. You might encounter some leaking. So I'm just gonna dab them just in case, because then if I kind of just dangle them around for a little bit, they might kind of leak into the printer. So I want to make sure I can have them as dry as I can. So you can see that there in the napkin that they're getting wet. And I'll go ahead and start installing them inside the printer, actually. Just give me 1 second here. Go ahead and set this up so that you can see me place these inside the printer. I'm just going to go ahead and break this in a funny way. So all you got to do is just install all of them inside the print head here on the left. So just give me 1 second to install them. Okay, so you can see that here, I'm having them all hang in there. Just kind of snap them into place. So click them into place, click them all into place. It should line up and just feed right into that right there. Okay, see, now they're all locked. You want to make sure you can route the tube so that they don't get caught. See, now I have it right beside the printer. Don't raise them higher than the printer. This will cause them to leak. These are the sponge cartridges and they could cause issues with leaking if you raise them too high because of the gravity. So next we'll go ahead and press the start button here and initialize them. So you want to make sure you also tie these tubes down here with the adhesive clip that's provided with the printer. The best place I like to put them is in the middle, like right here. I have them put right hanging in the middle so that you can have something like this, kind of just holding them. But you don't want to get it caught. But since I'm initializing them, I just want to go ahead and just hold that here. So it says right here, this message, press proceed. Now it should prepare the ink system right now. Make sure we get some focus here. If you ever need to prime the cartridge, you can also remove the rubber cap on top of the cartridge. That's where you can use the syringe and also just pull any excess ink out of there that has any air bubbles in the lines, like this one you can see here. And then after you do this, I'm just going to initialize them first. Once you have that already, you would also want to make sure you install the air filters on top of these ink cartridges. So usually in your kit, you should be provided with these accessories here. Syringes for priming, adhesive clips for this, and then you also have the little air filters here as well. So you can see that there. But yeah, all you have to do is make sure you have them initialized, and you should be able to hook these CIS tubes into place, and that should basically be all the installation you need to see. But we'll just wait a little more here until it's done initializing. See, so I usually like to have this clip right here. You take the adhesive off, place it right here, clamp the tubes down like right in between. Make sure you give it enough slack so it's not yanking this tube back and left to right, so you have it something like this. You can kind of come back and over. It's going to take a while for it to initialize.